Right here from The Conscious Builder, and on today's video we have a short clip of the interview that I did with real estate investor and advocate Kayla Andrade. So whether you're new to the real estate game or you've been in it for a while, she has some really helpful advice for all the landlords out there. Enjoy this short clip with Kayla Andrade. Do you have any advice for new landlords or people looking to get into a rental building or become a landlord?
Get your team, anything in real estate. You need a network. You need to know everyone. Listening to podcasts like this for number one, it's about education. Even though you think, oh, I did a good job, I got a good tenant. No, I need you to read the Landlord and Tenant Board. I want you to pull up every single form, what the requirements are, what the stipulations are, and continue to listen to what's happening within the industry through your elected officials as well. They need to have that if you're in the rental business. It changes on a whim. Everyone knows that the rent increase in Ontario now is 1.2% for 2022. I was thinking,
and it was frozen for the last year, right? So
yeah, it's frozen for the last year, and you're thinking, okay, 2022, we're going to see maybe a 2.5. We're going to get the max, right? Thinking that they felt sorry for the landlords when their increases of utilities and taxes and insurance went up. No, they're just like, what should it be for 2022? Maybe 1.2. I'm like, what is this, Dr. Seuss? Yeah. No. We need something more, guys. Like, how do you expect us? It's a business. Our numbers need to work. And if they don't work, landlords are more than happy to move in their place for a year and just not rent it out. So, right. They're creating a problem by not really addressing the landlord's concerns. So we hope that through our advocacy that we get to inform the government. We have multiple different types of properties, utilities included, utilities not included, condos, and things need to have a different wave of increases to help us continue to allow people to stay there at a decent rate. But increases do have to be more fair and balanced in order for us to help run the place. Because if not, we're just going to create ourselves some slumlord situations where landlords are just not going to put the money into their building until they're forced to.
Yeah. And that's, I see that, being the owner now, it's like, if you can't get the rents up to where they should be and to cover costs, it's like, well, why would you? Like, there's no incentive to maintain that building as much as you other than making sure that it doesn't fall over, sort of thing. Like it's
especially landlord licensing. We have landlord licensing in Waterloo, and that's spreading in many cities across Ontario, and especially for the student housing area. It's not going to do anything for the students for safety. They already have the RTA, the LTB, they have property standards. There's a lot of they're just reinventing the wheel with a price tag attached to it. But good, for the contractors, the contractors are going to be in need every single year, so it does get that need for them to be servicing the type of furnaces and plumbing and electrical, but we do see that the price of rents have increased because of a landlord licensing type of style, and it's going to be as a permanent, like it is in Waterloo, which is driving investors out of that city and getting it elsewhere, especially even for water billing. It's not a done deal, but it's for landlord licensing. They do tend to invest into cities that don't have licensing because it's just an extra cost that they have to pass to the tenant, resulting into the rents to be more expensive than what they already are, and they're continuing to climb because of the risk.
Are you putting something together for to get that rent increase done? Have you been petitioning or anything like that?
We are. We have a full-on report. So that's the thing. That's what we want to get to the top 5. We just did another call out to our landlords with all the changes that are happening at the board. We want to get, again, what our top 5 issues are and what would be your top 5 solutions. So when you look at, obviously, the non-payment of rent, when you look at damages, when you look at the rent increases that are happening, and when you're dealing with a tenant who is ruining the enjoyment of others and costing you to lose so much more money because tenants are now moving out because of that one tenant. We do have to have a quicker, faster approach in how to deal with disputes with landlords and tenants at the board. It's still a broken system. They don't know. They want to bring in, this is we just had a stakeholder meeting with the Landlord and Tenant Board on yesterday. And sadly, they are allowing landlords now to bring their former tenants to the Landlord and Tenant Board. So normally if they moved out, that's it. Like you can't bring them unless you filed at the board before they moved out. Well, now they want you to bring your former tenants to the Landlord and Tenant Board. First of all, I can't really see the landlords being able to track these former tenants down. But if they were, why are you creating more of a backlog? You know, we already have a huge backlog. Now you're putting on more work at the Landlord and Tenant Board, including utilities. So this is what's going to happen on a regular basis between former tenants and utilities. We're going to see more applications being brought to the board, which they come at a price tag of $186. So we really do need to be very careful on who we're choosing to be our tenants, because the system is not there to protect you. And we need to make sure that we do our part, which one, you're buying the great property that has great potential, that has the way of attracting great tenants, and putting that time and effort and your customer service level into it. Because if you don't, you could see yourself losing a lot of money. I've had one on our YouTube channel. We had a lady that was already at $43,000 in arrears and still refusing to move out. And because she went to the Landlord and Tenant Board to evict her tenant underneath an N12 application for her own personal use, because she didn't give the tenant 1 month's rent before the 60-day mark on that N12 application, her application was now voided, because you have to give your last month's rent prior to the 60 days. And the landlord just thought, she owes me $43,000, take it off the top, you know? And
Right.
now she had to start the process all over again.
That's wild.
I don't mean to scare anybody, but
Yeah.
it could happen. It's just about the education.
Well, it's all a
Remember
point about doing exactly. Do your due diligence, make sure you cross your T's, dot your I's, and do things right, and that you have your team, right? That's the point, and then you can hopefully avoid situations like that. So glad you tuned in for this video. If you want to listen to the entire interview, you can check out the link in the description below. However, if you want to get more tips like this one with Riley Oikel, telling you about the BRRRR strategy, be sure to click here, and remember to live consciously.